Okay, you're going to need to open up your Walking Dead pinball and go to the area where you're going to place the mod, which is right next to the house here. And we're going to remove these two screws so that we can feed the wires down into this hole back here. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so we're going to remove this screw here. And be careful because there's a washer underneath it, so you don't lose the washer. And this screw you may not actually have to completely remove. You may be able just to loosen it so that you can slide that out, so you don't actually have to take that out. Okay, so now we have the mod, and you need to gently, actually we'll need to put the wires all together here. If you need to twist them a little bit, you can do that so they're all together. And we're going to force them down through this little side hole here, very gently. And you may want to do just two at a time. Two. Okay, now I've lifted up the play field, and if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see this mechanism there, and then these are where the wires are going to come out, and just gently pull them until they're gently taut and they're through. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put the play field back down. Okay, so we have the mod here, and just gently pull the wires around. So they're going to come on the outside here. And now what you need to do is spread the wires from the base of the mod so that we can get the screw in. So what I generally do is pull two to either side. Preferably two that are on the same side so you get the hole as open as possible. And then we have our screw with our washer. Go ahead and put the screw in. Put the washer on the underside. Give me that screwdriver over there. And then kind of place this on the hole. And gently screw in the screw. Don't over screw it. You don't want to crack the plastic piece there. And you can pull your wires over here to the side, out of the way. And when we go back on the underside, we can pull those tight so that we can make sure they're out of the way. Go ahead and tighten up the other screw that we loosened. Okay, make sure you're happy with that. Okay, now I'm going to go to the underside of the pinball. Okay, so we're on the underside of the pinball. We're going to find the three kickers for the bumpers. And if you look, you'll see right here, there's three connections. All right, and that's where we're going to hook up our alligator clips. So we'll go ahead and get the alligator clips. There are 3 of them, as we talked about. We're going to start with the one that has the black heat shrink on it. It may not be a red wire, just look for the one that has the black heat shrink. This one is going to connect to the middle connection on this thing. So we go ahead and put that on the middle. And then we're going to go and look at the wires from the mod down here. They're going to come out the bottom here, and we want the 2 black wires. Okay, so at the end of the wire, 2 of the wires are painted black except at the ends. So here we have a yellow and blue. So we don't want those. We want these 2 black ones. And we're going to take these and we're going to put them end to end. You don't need to twist them, but we want to get them as close together as we can. And we're going to take our connector and we're going to put them in both in the same exact hole. Turn the connector upside down so you can see where the wires are going. There's 2 holes on this connector. Both of these need to go into one hole. And if you look real close, you'll see that those wires should go all the way to the end of that connector. And that is important, because if they're not, it won't work. Now, if for some reason the wire isn't long enough to hit the end, you may need to trim the insulation on the wire. So we're going to put these both in the same hole. And then we're going to take the connector on the wire, and again, see, this one's probably not long enough, so we'll make this a little longer. Okay, so if you need to strip a little bit of the insulation, you can. I'll try to make sure these are all long enough. Now take your time when you're doing this. I did give you an extra connector in case you mess up, but take your time so you don't mess up. And then you're just going to take your pliers and make sure you're pushing in on both of the wires, and then squeeze the connector. You may see some fluid come out of this. That's normal, and you want to squeeze it pretty hard. Make sure the wires are locked. You should be able to gently pull on the wires and them not come loose. Okay, now we're going to take our other 2 wires. These do not have any heat shrink on them, and you're going to connect these to the other 2 connectors that are here. It doesn't matter which one you connect to what, as long as they go on the outside, and the one with the heat shrink goes in the middle. Okay, so now we're going to take the other 2 wires that still haven't been connected. In this case, it's going to be a blue and a yellow. And we're going to take the 2 wires and we'll put one in one hole. We'll put one in the other hole. And again, just make sure they're pushed all the way in and squeeze with your pliers. Should be nice and locked. And I'll take the other one. One in one hole. The other one. And I made the wires longer. If you want to trim them, you can trim them to make them shorter, to make it cleaner, but I wanted to give you extra wire. And then again, I just would gently connect all the connections, make sure everything's tight. And we're going to go ahead and pull the playboard down. And so you don't have to close everything up. We can check and make sure it works first. Go ahead and power on the machine. And as you can see, both the railroad crossing lights are working. And so what will happen is when this bumper is hit or this bumper is hit, those corresponding lights will blink. Now, if it's backwards, then you can just disconnect the non-heat shrink alligator clips and switch them, and then they'll be in association with whichever light you want it to be. And that's it. Should be a 5-minute installation, and we hope you enjoy the mod. If you have any problems, let us know. If you do run out of those connectors, if you mess up, you can buy those. They're called telephone connectors. You can buy them at Home Depot for a whole box for like $3 or $4. Okay, contact me with any questions. Thank you.